Alright, YouTube. I promised you a profile of my fabled deck, and here it is. It still needs a lot of work, possibly needs more darks, and whatever. Well, let's just go through it really quick. So, cards that really inspired me to pick the deck back up and start testing it again. I've got the 2 Darkwing Dragon Collapserpent and 2 Bright White Dragon Wyburstar. And let's just go over these guys really quick. And they both essentially have the same effect. Wyburstar, neither one can be normal summoned or set. Wyburstar, you banish Dark to special summon. Collapserpent, you banish a Light to special summon from your graveyard. And when either one is sent to the graveyard, you search you can search the opposing one. But it is a if you can, not a when you can, so it doesn't miss the timing with synchro, so you can synchro with it and still search the other one. And yeah, super awesome shenanigans with this card. But each one is only once per turn, and I found that 3 and 3 was very cloggy, so it's down to 2 and 2. Then on to the Fable monsters, you got 3 Grimro. This is probably the best archetype support card ever. I mean, you got a Fabled monster, I'm gonna go get a different Fabled monster. It fills up your graveyard toolbox while thinning your deck and getting you what you need all at once. So that is awesome. Got 3 crews. A lot of people only play 2, but I have really enjoyed 3. Probably it's just more my playstyle. I only play 2 Ganasha. You'll see why in a second. And then I've got the 3 Fabled Cerberus, 3 Fabled Chawa, 1 Kushano, not 2, and a Fabled Lurie. And then on the non-Fabled, outside of these guys, I've got the 1 Level Leader. It's kind of my thing in Fabled. I think every Fabled player should play at least 1 Level Leader. It's really, really good. And just the 1 Snipe Hunter. And now I've got 2 TG Warwolf, which is part of why I bumped the Ganasha down to 2, because I'm playing this to try and bolster my dark count. I am seriously considering playing the TG Striker just so that I've got a search target for the Warwolves if I like set one and gets destroyed, or vice versa. And then of course, any deck filled with lights and darks, you gotta play the Blackluster Soldier. It's not really filled with darks. I'd say I've got, what, 5, 6... Do I really only have 5 darks in the deck? Well, it's a pretty fast deck. We'll see if the BLS stays, because he's not necessarily my favorite top deck, but he undeniably wins games. Then on his spells, you got Pot of Avarice, Gotta Have It, Monster Reborn, Heavy Storm, and then on to text. I've got a Magical Stone Excavation, just 1. You discard 2 cards and you select a spell in your grave and add it to your hand. So this essentially allows all these spells that I'm playing 1 of to be played a second time if I need them to. A lot of the time, if I can, I go for another Avarice, another Monster Reborn, just another power play, maybe a card destruction again, something like that. I've actually used it to get the 2nd card destruction and deck out someone after they backseat me, because I card destructioned them twice with like 15 cards in hand. So it gives you all kinds of extra push that you wouldn't otherwise have. You got the 1 space, Monster Incarnation, card destruction, 1 for 1, Foolish Burial being for the Level Leader or the Kushano mainly, and then triple Upstart Goblin just for deck thin, so it essentially makes this a 37 card deck, since just draw Upstart and then go get the next thing. Now the 1 Dark World Lealings and 2 Royal Decrees in the extra deck. It's not a whole lot different than it used to be, but I am playing the new level 3 and one of the new level 6s. So you got Formula Synchron, Mistbird, Colossus, however you pronounce that, Colossus. Alright. So, but his effect, he's got 23 defense. Once per turn, you target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Until the end of the turn, that monster's attack becomes 0 and his effects are negated. So sometimes I'll sink into this guy, make someone 0, drop a Cerberus on the field and make a Reagan, get my draws. Meanwhile, they've got a 0 attack monster, and that's always nice. We got the Fabled Unicorn. Is the only level 4 worth playing. Kudabi's bad. Unicorn is good. Get it right, guys. Triple Reagan. You gotta have it. It's the only thing I even play more than one of in the extra deck. Although I would play 2 Formula Synchrons if it was ever back at multiples. Got the Hyper Librarian because it just, of course, makes everything stupider. And Psyconductor Behemoth. He's just kind of my level 6 of choice. I'm also going to test Beast God Vulcan or whatever the hell his name is. But I probably prefer Psyconductor Behemoth. He's just kind of an out to anything. When he battles an opponent's monster, you can banish him and the monster that he's battling. So, like, whatever. I've had times where my opponent put out a Zedmains and was sitting behind it all smug, and I just made Psyconductor Behemoth to banish it, in addition to a bunch of other stuff that I pushed with. And then Black Rose Dragon, you gotta have it for... Sometimes you just make the Librarian formula play, get your 2 draws, and you can just sit on the instant Black Rose, wait for your opponent to commit a few cards to the field, and you're just like, ah, Black Rose Dragon, bitch. So that's always fun. Ancient Sacred Wyvern gets really, really big. I had a duel previously where I was playing Monarchs, and he summoned Caius. I had the Librarian formula out and targeted one of my dudes, and I just made Ancient Sacred Wyvern. It had like 5,000 attack or something absurd, and the guy just had no choice but to just pass from there. Stardust Dragon, Mistworm, gotta have him. You can make him with the Formula Synchron again, and I mean not with that combo, but Formula Synchron and like a level 3 and a level 4 maybe, or Formula Synchron, Librarian, and a Dead Cruise, whatever you have. Sometimes you can make Mistworm with him, and that's also a very devastating play, especially if they're doing XYZ spam, and you just like put all that shit back. Got Leviathan. He's pretty easy to make in this deck. You can even make him with a Mistworm and a Chawa because he's just 1 and 1, not 1 and 2 or more, like most of the monsters his level are. And then, of course, you got the Shooting Star Dragon and the Shooting Quasar Dragon. And when he comes out, I'll probably be playing a Starform Dragon as well. I just haven't really decided where I'm going to put it in terms of like what slot he's going to go in. I might have to drop down to 2 Reagans to play Starform, even though I think that 3 is very good, to put it lightly. But just the fact that his Synchro Summon can't be negated, and when he special summoned cards and effects of other effects can't be activated, so essentially you can't respond to a summon, and then if he attacks he's unaffected by cards until the end of the damage step, so it's really hard to get rid of him. You pretty much just got... I mean, you can destroy him with like normal stuff, but you can't do anything when he's summoned or when he's attacking. So, I mean, for that turn, if you're pushing that turn, that pretty much leaves them with Compulse as an option to him, so gonna want to play him, of course. And I'm gonna have to have the ultimate, of course. But, as for this deck, I may need to bolster the dark count a little bit more. I also feel like it needs more thin and speed, but it also is pretty heavy on those things already. So just kind of see what I can do with it. This is my build right now. I would say that this is probably pretty close to the way you're going to want to play Fabled. Of course, some people are not going to want to play the Decrees this format because our biggest competition isn't really playing back row. But I'm telling you, like, you really need them for those rogue decks, and you're not always going to be playing meta. And, I mean, let's be real, you're not going to play dragons, then dragons, then dragons, then dragons, then dragons, even at a big event. You're going to play people who have traps. So, the Royal Decree is really needed because it helps you stay alive. If you took them both out, at least one of the slots would have to be dedicated to another space. So essentially, you can only really fit one other card in where they are. Whereas, if you're just looking for slots, probably the Upstart Goblins are the things to take out first, because they're just kind of thinning placeholders. And if you had something that you felt was better than one of them all around, then you could just replace it with one of those. In the side deck, I've just got my triple Vanity's Fiend, my other spaces, and some closed forests. Don't really have a complete side deck for this deck yet because I haven't decided what I need to be siding for. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the deck profile and my fabled Therio. And have a great day, and rate, comment, and subscribe, and all that nonsense. Bleh.